Christmas, and welcome back to Holly Jolly Techmas. So this is Christmas, and what have we done? Another season is over. Yeah, and honestly, I feel like we haven't done much of anything this year. I feel like this year, compared to previous years, has been a bit of a letdown. At least that's my personal opinion here. Like, normally I feel like we accomplish so much more with our builds. I mean, you take a look at last year, we actually had a whole functional operation going, a whole base, an actually completed factory base that wasn't just kind of bits and pieces scattered about. This year, not so much the case. But in other senses, we have done a lot this year. Uh, we upgraded. The biggest thing I think that set us back was the fact that we upgraded from playing in a 1.12 world to a 1.16 world. And so 1.16 obviously changes a lot of the stuff, the base mechanics of the game, namely the addition of netherite. And so a lot of our stuff we need a netherite for, which kind of requires you to follow a certain progression. First thing that, was a huge difference for me was tinkers. I guess it's not a huge difference. It's just the things that we are used to in tinkers from 112 are not the same in 113 or 116. So we have, the rose gold now as opposed to paper, no tinker leveling, so the more you use an item, it doesn't get particularly better. Abilities instead of just strictly having enhancements. All those kinds of things that, we weren't inherently prepared for going into this. So all the changes to Tinkers really did set us back a few days because I had to spend an extra amount of time reacquainting myself with a mod that in the past seasons has been something that we just fly through immediately. It's just one of those things that, for me was secondhand at that point. We knew how to make ourselves a smelter. We could usually pump the smelter out the first episode, be done with it, start working on our tools from there. By episode 2, 3, 4, around there roundabouts, we'd have our entire arsenal of tools set up and we'd be all good. This time I feel like it wasn't until almost episode 10 before we had settled down on which specific tools that we wanted to use. On top of learning new things, that's mainly what this season was all about. In the past, we typically stick with mods that we're familiar with, or at least have some experience with. We, engineer's manual here. Typically, we do immersive engineering. We didn't do immersive engineering this year, so all these things that we are used to in immersive engineering, were things that we didn't get to do this year, things that we didn't have to worry about. But at the same time, those are things, again, that we already know, already understand the basics of how to set them up, how to make them function. We don't have to worry about trying to figure out new things. So with that, we tried out Britannia this year. Britannia is an interesting mod, and I did actually highly enjoy a lot of the stuff when it comes to Britannia, especially the how to automate it without just automating, right? Because you take a mod like immersive engineering, there is very obvious ways to automate things. Specifically, right, you have the biggest thing that makes energy in that game, in that mod, is the diesel engine. The diesel engine requires plants and stuff, so you set up farms that produce the plants that can then send those plants to the diesel engine that then produces the energy to power those machines and other machines. This one is not as straightforward. Take the Gormarillas, for example. it needs to eat food, but it can only eat food, in certain ways, and it needs to take breaks between eating food, and if you feed it the same food over and over, it doesn't produce as much energy. So you need to have a way to set up a farm that produces crops, turns them into food that the Gourmarillas can eat, but it needs to also be cycling through crops so that it's something different every time. The thermalily, right, it moves lava. We know that there's ways to produce lava. We've done it in the past. Thermal expansion, for example, with the magma, is it the magma crucible? No, I think it might be the magma crucible, produces lava. But the thermalily needs a 5-minute cooldown between each bucket of lava that it consumes. The spectralist probably is the easiest one to automate if I wanted to actually spend the time to do so, because it would, all I had to do was set a timer between each of these so that they didn't, that this one would go off, then this one, that they weren't all going off at the same time. That one would have been a much easier one to automate. Endo flames are, they're okay for early game, but anything late game that requires excessive amounts of mana, actually, you need to work on. This Munchdew, however, was our savior. It was a little expensive to make the Munchdew, but we did it. And especially early game, it was a little more expensive. But at the end of the day, it was totally worth it, because combining that with any kind of logging mod, which there are plenty of other mods that do tree capitating than just industrial foregoing, that makes it easy mode. It just automatically will do it. I don't think we found anything in here that actually would have just eaten those normally. Do we ever see what this does? Oh, it's the loot. Yeah, but so if you were just playing with strictly only Botania, you would have to actually chop down these trees, which might be why the Munchdew is a little more prolific as far as its mana generation goes, because you're not supposed to be getting saplings back from it. We do, because we found a tree that grows bigger and produces more leaves than the Munchdew can consume. But so that's the mana generation part of it. And then you also have, typically in mods, not including the one that we did over there, typically in mods you have a way of sending energy from point A to point B that's not super crazy. In this mod, however, if you have this mod requires space too, right? Most other mods are compact single block things. You slap them down and you're good to go. You can you could probably have like a 5x5 room for every single item in the thermal expansion mod, and you'd have everything at just in arm's reach. This mod, right, requires a lot of space. This thing on its own requires a 3x3 area, a mana pool nearby. This one, right, is, I think it said 11 by 11. I don't know. That's how big of a square I think these pylons connect to. But right, it's 3, 4, 5. It's 25. Well, 5x5 area for the portal. You have to have the the Netra pylons nearby. You have to have a runic altar to make the things. These pure daisies on their own require a 3x3 square. So you can't really compact this mod into a tight area without, running into some problems. Whereas other mods, you can do that. However, I think the biggest issue I have with Botania is more so the way that I run the Christmas series. Typically, we do it more on a 25 days of every single day I record an episode. This year, I have another job. I don't just get to play Minecraft all day long, as much as that would be fun. So I have another job that I have to go to, and so that job was definitely eating into the amount of time that I was able to spend on this mod pack and progressing further. We'd have probably had a lot more mana generation going on, maybe progress a little bit faster through it. We also lost all of our mana when we tried to make the Terra Steel the first time, so that hurt us. Lots of setbacks and just not knowing how the mod works. But overall, I did really enjoy this mod. I don't feel like it's terribly a useful mod. So unless the Gaia boss opens up a whole other section that makes things ridiculously good, I didn't get into figuring out what these things are supposed to do. I mean, we got the um, Ender Air, but I'm bad at reading, so I didn't get through these to see what these do. This Life Aggregator. That sounds cool. Restrain the curious energy and carry it to another point in space. That actually would have been super handy. It requires Gaia spirits. So the thing is, that would have been super handy for our industrial foregoing. Another problem I think that I had with this season, exploration. I wanted to find all these cute animals here, and I wanted to, tame them all and stuff. So, if we look at our journey map here, I went thousands upon thousands of blocks up here. I think if we look at that limestone one, right, that is 4,000 blocks away in that direction. The Amoongus biome over here is another, stop doing that, another like 3,000 blocks that way. We went down to the bottom here. Look how far we went. That's like probably another good 4,000 or 5,000 blocks down there. We didn't explore a ton to the east here. A little bit. We did find the Mystic Plains and the Jade Cliffs. Those were really nice. But again, look at it's like thousands upon thousands of blocks away. So I did spend a lot of time exploring. Oh, my elephant grew up already. Go to land. This way, elephant. I tamed it. I found out the problem was you can't tame elephants with tusks. Charge. No. Oh, look, we have an elephant. These inventory pets. Those were another... They're so broken. They're just unbelievably broken. It's not even fair. If you created a flight at the cost of a couple nether quartz an episode, I get to just fly around and act like, nothing matters. That's fantastic. The inventory pets, I mean, they're everywhere. Those aren't even dangerous. I can fly up to that one right now, grab that inventory pet, any diamonds and stuff up there. Doesn't even matter. The mystical agriculture is another one that is set up, much like Botania, for a longer term situation. You have to grow the crops. You need the inferium. You need lots of inferium to make the higher tier crops. So if I were to redo everything, get Botania, get the Agri-Carnation I think is what the one is, set a couple of these mystical agricultural farms around a Agri-Carnation, which would then boost the growth rate of all of those plants. There were also ways of boosting the growth rate using mystical agriculture itself, but that was kind of just in the background, we need some resources. These produce resources for free, kind of thing. And now to one of the things that I hated most about this season, and kind of to me is a huge letdown, are sludge. In the past, these machines were super easy to build, super cheap. You could build them, for nothing. Nowadays, it seems a lot like industrial foregoing is just an expensive mod for people who have nothing better to do than waste all of their resources. I mean, to make one supreme... So if we look this up, supreme... To make one supreme machine frame, you need 2 netherite ingots, plus, that's what, 6 diamonds right there? And you need ether glass, which I don't even know how to get this. Oh, a laser drill. So you need a laser drill, which requires a simple machine frame, so that's not too bad. But the Supreme machine frame, back to this. So ether gas, that's not too hard to get. But 6 diamonds and 2 netherite ingots. That's 8 netherite scraps, unless you've got, tinkers, which doubles it. So that's just to upgrade an advanced to a supreme. To get the advanced one, you need the simple one, plastics, another 4 diamonds. So that puts us up to 10 whole diamonds, plus 2 more netherite scraps. So that's 10 ancient debris and 10 diamonds to make one supreme machine frame. Now, what's the supreme machine frame used for? Nether star generator, black hole controller, wither builder, metallurgic that thing, supreme black hole tank, another generator, and supreme black hole unit. Also to make a mycelial reactor. The thing is, none of those are useful. Like, so you got, right, this to this, the mycelial reactor. That's only to, and from what I understand of the mycelial reactor is you need to have every other single type of mycelial generator in order for that mycelial reactor to do anything. And even then, the book itself doesn't even tell you what it does. Where is the book? If you look through this, we go over to generators. Mycelial reactor. Can detect other mycelia and generate massive amounts of energy. For this to happen, one instance of each generator needs to be working at the same time. It does say maybe new technologies can be discovered using this network, but the problem is, I don't think that those have been implemented. I'm fairly, convinced that those things do not exist because nothing in here, tells me that there is any advancement after that. Energy transportation in this mod too is just non-existent. If I have the generator here and I want it to power this wing, I have to put it down here to power both of these. To move items, you need to get 6 plastic to make 6 of these conveyor belts. 6 plastic to 6 conveyor belts. You typically, when you build these factories, you got them, you got one room here that's doing one thing that needs to then feed those items into the next room, which then, progressively you feed more and more stuff. This thing takes forever to produce one bucket of latex. And on top of that, sometimes it breaks the log. And if you're not watching it or have another block placer or something to place another log in its place when it breaks, you're just wasting some time. So even less latex is being produced. But at the end of the day, it also doesn't do anything for you. I mean, sure, it's making us sludge. Our sludge is our number one selling product. But other than the sludge, the bioreactor does nothing. The sludge refiner, I wish there was a way to look at the uses of it. Where is it in here? Looks like a dirty thing. Here it is. Look, sand, dirt, clay, gravel, sand. What's the point? You can turn one bucket of sludge into sand or gravel or clay. It's okay, I can just go mine all that stuff. I mean, I suppose the idea is that you don't want to mine all that stuff, but as far as this mod pack goes, those things aren't useful to you at all. And so the infinity charger, right, it's going to charge your infinity tools, but why do you need infinity tools when I have a sword that's just stronger? Right, we got the infinity trident. Current area is a 13 by 13 by 13. What does that even imply? What does that mean? It has no attack speed, no attack damage. Actually, that's a pretty decent attack speed, but attack damage is garbage. If you go to the infinity launcher, I don't know what any of those things do, but they're, again, garbage tier. So I'm kind of disappointed in what's happened to Industrial Foregoing. It used to be called Mine Factory Reloaded, and I feel like back when it was Mine Factory Reloaded, it was such a better mod, had such better, just progression and usefulness. This mob farmer thing over here, I mean, this works decently, but the problem is this mob slaughter factory, you don't get their byproducts. Like, I don't get any, what's it called, leather from them when they die. So it's like, why am I, like, typically the point of farming cows is to get leather. So that's, I don't know. I just feel like in the end of the day, it's not a great mod pack. It used to be one of my favorite ones, but now it's kind of gone downhill, in my opinion, again. Maybe I'm missing something from it. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But moving forward, in the future, I mean, this series as a whole has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and it's gotten me wanting to make Minecraft videos again, honestly. I've had a lot of fun with it. Trying, running into wacky things like the squid flying into the air and all the other crazy things that have happened over this season. But at the same time, I don't really have time for that. A longer series maybe where I could, you know, not have to play every single day and try to progress as rapidly as I can. That might be a more enjoyable thing. One where I have actual time to, build a factory and stuff. Also, potentially playing with other people so that, like, I might be focusing on this mod, they might be focusing on another one, and then I'm like, oh, that sounds like an interesting thing. Maybe we can trade some resources. I can give you, say, tree stuff, and you can give me cobblestone, something like that. Could be an interesting idea. Um, Typically, I find that Minecraft works better just in general when you're playing with a community and not just by yourself. But it's hard to find those kind of communities. One thing that I will say as I'm emptying my inventory into this chest here is that one of the mods that I do want to look for, or I do want to try out in the future, is the create mod. And mostly because these things look ridiculous. Look, you got a water wheel here. You can hold W to ponder, and it tells you, here's how you build a water wheel. And again, this feels a lot like the old days, or not the old days, but our days of playing, what's it called? Immersive engineering, right? So you got the water wheel, you got this giant crushing wheel, right? You can look at this and you can put two crusher wheels here together. They'll spin when you connect them with these cogs, and then you drop stuff in between them and it turns them into dust. You can then it's got conveyor belts. Where are they? It definitely has conveyor belts. I saw them because it was telling me how to do conveyor belts. A controller rail. That's not it. Either way, it definitely has conveyor belts. I promise you. It's got all these clutches, gear shifts, cranks, right? Like portable storage interface. Who even knows what that is? It's got a cannon. Shoot blocks to recreate a deployed schematic. You can make schematics and then deploy them. Redstone link. It's got content, something another, mechanical arms. It sounds pretty cool. So in the future, a flywheel. What does this do? Generating rotational force using the flywheel. Oh, I guess this is how you use those to make energy. But yeah, so this mod looks like it's got, potential for it to be something interesting. And also, this is where a lot of our building materials are from. It's got valves. It looks like it's immersive engineering, but on a, earlier time frame scale, like something that you would make maybe in like, a medieval or early Renaissance thing, whereas industrial engineering is definitely after the Industrial Revolution. But so to wrap up to this year's, oh my gosh, look at those blocks are invisible. That's crazy. Why are they invisible? To wrap up this year's um, series, we've got two things. One is Alfheim. Can we go to Alfheim? There's a decent amount of mana in these pools here, so either we're gonna try to go through and die, or we're just gonna walk through and fall off the other end. So let's try this out. Nope, nothing. Standing here, nothing. All right, a little lackluster there, if you ask me, but we deal with it. All right, put on all of our armor and onto phase 2 of what we're doing today to wrap up. I'm going to put the books away, even though if we die, it's not going to make any difference. I got our Terra Steel. I got a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to grab some of our golden carrots. And then I set up another fight chamber over here. There's the beacon. I got our Gaia pylons here. I got the beacon. Let's get our people on the hotbar here. Did we have another? Oh, we had the mob capture unit. We don't want the mob capture unit this time. We got our golden carrot. I forgot to grab diamond nuggets for this guy. So Mickerson's just out. No Mickerson this time. Alright. Here we go. One last fight for the season. But it doesn't like the ground. Alright, let's go grab our shovel. I didn't realize it had to be a flat surface. Otherwise I would have built it somewhere else. I guess we can also grab some stuff for Mickerson then. Some diamond nuggets. And then Mickerson can be happy. Alright, back over there. Clear it out, and then we'll fight the Gaia boss. Alright. Wow, it is quite large. Are we going to be trapped in here with potentially it's a her, right? So that one's got to go. These two got to go. That one's got to go. That whole tree's got to go. And then a bunch of this ground's got to go too. What's the point of this? Why does the ground need to be flattened, huh? What does the Gaia boss benefit from me flattening all the ground? This episode is going to end up being the longest of them. And it's the wrap-up one that usually lasts only like 5 minutes. I got nothing better to do today. Get my pets back on the hotbar. Get my Terra Steel. Okay, what's messing it up this time, huh? on game. Oh, we still have to clear out more land. Alright, get Makerson ready. Eat a gold carrot. Wait, I can't fly? I don't like this. Did my minions get spawned? My minions did get spawned. Why is there music? Are my minions doing anything? That's a real question. Did you come back here? Ow. Ow. I don't think the music was necessary, and it is very loud. I apologize for the loudness of the music in this video. This is not my music. This is not my doing. My little minions don't seem to be doing terribly much. Oh, there's a mini Blaze now. Is he mine? Weezer, is that you? Weezer? Weezer! Save me, Weezer! You can't count on Weezer to do anything. Oh, it doesn't like whatever's going on now. Oh, it spawned some mobs. Should we... We'll spawn our own mobs to counter them. I don't know if that's Weezer sending fire out or if it's someone else sending fire out. Trying to kill the witch. Oh my god, that's a lot of zombies. A lot of witches too. Oh, and my brother is here now. Brother, what are you doing? Don't fight me, fight them. My little minions might have been killed. I am losing track of everything. Spawn more minions. I can't see because there's a huge hotbar of garbage in my face. Do I have invulnerability again? I think I do. But we did it. We got a shader for it. Look at that. I can fly again. We got 8 whole Gaia spirits for that. Oh, my little guys are teleporting all over the place. But there we go. Gaia boss also beat. I guess we're just too strong with all of these mobs. Guys, Gaia spirits. We did it. We win. GG. No re. So as usual, thanks for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed this series, and we'll see you next year most likely, unless people want to see more of this. If people want to see more of me messing around in mods, let me know, and I will try to make it more of a thing, more than just a once a year kind of thing. But for now, we gotta wrap up this one because oh my god, it's been long enough as it is. So, as usual, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you around for the next one. Merry Christmas, everybody!